I got some good news for you. Hey everybody, good morning. Hello Evan and whoever the other viewer is that's just lurking right now. Hi, this is good news. And what is good news? Good news is, well, right now there's a lot of bad news out there. And a lot of us are just being inundated with it, and it just becomes too much of a focus of our lives, and there just really doesn't seem to be anything else going on in the world except for bad news. So for your antidote, we're going to take a look at some good news. We're not going to be mentioning anything related to the biggest stories of the day, so that is, if you're here for that, you're in the wrong place. Instead, we're going to be looking at the fun and the weird and the odd news from all around the world. So join me on this. Chat in the chat room. We'll be taking a look at the comments as they come and interacting where appropriate. So talk it up in there, and let's get on to our first good news story number 1 for today. This is from our record-breaking category of good news. Gibson's Gourmet Burgers and Ribs in Cape Town, South Africa. This is a restaurant that you've never heard of before, but they just won the Guinness World Record for milkshake flavors. Apparently this is a thing. They are now offering on their menu 207 different milkshake flavors. That is a lot of milkshake flavors. When they opened up, apparently they offered 40 different milkshake flavors. Now that's a lot right there, especially for a place that is called Gibson's Gourmet Burgers and Ribs. Milkshakes aren't in the title at all. People should be going there for the burgers and ribs, but instead they're offering 40 different, well, when they opened, they offered 40 different milkshake flavors, and now it's gotten out of hand, and they're up to 207. So here's the news story here. Most varieties of milkshakes commercially available is a Guinness category. And they're up to 207 exotic combinations featuring Nutella and mascarpone and Oreo cheesecake. They offer fat-free, vegan, and also alcoholic options. It's pretty crazy. So I figured we would go into their menu and take a look and see what it is that they're offering. And right off the bat, they buried the lead. I mean, look at these burgers. You don't need to offer 207 different milkshakes for me to want to go there. Just show me your burgers. Like, seriously, is there a Guinness category for best looking burgers out there? Anyway, let's go down here. We're in the milkshake category. They actually have 3 different categories. They've got their gourmet shakes, their freak shakes, and their yogurt shakes. Now, it's called a milkshake, so I just realized, are the yogurt shakes included? Because Guinness is sometimes really picky about that sort of thing. If it's not ice cream, but instead it features frozen yogurt, is that still a milkshake? I guess frozen yogurt still has milk in it, so it probably still qualifies. So anyway, let's scan through the list here a little bit. We've got cheesecake, we've got peppermint crisp, we've got salted caramel, caramel fudge. These numbers, by the way, these are the prices. That's not the number on, like, it's not 60 out of 207. This is the price for, in the local currency, I guess, for the milkshake. Peanut butter and crunchy, Rocky Road. No, seriously, does real vanilla, if it's just a vanilla shake, does that count as a flavor? Like, that's just kind of your base, isn't it? Man. Vanilla chocolate honey, oh, peanut butter, there you go, straight up. Yeah, that would be one of the first ones I would try, I think. Snickers pretzel shake, chocolate toffee cashew jelly tots. Seriously, vanilla ice cream and just like jelly candy mixed in, that's not a flavor. Come on, you can do better than that. I don't even know how to pronounce this one. Koeksister and maple syrup? What is a Koeksister? Maybe that's for another episode. I don't know. We'll have to investigate that one. Banana custard and marshmallow. So as you can see, these get pretty exotic. 207 different varieties. And they've got people talking about, you know, I came here, I tried one of the milkshakes and it was so good, I'm going to come back and try all 207. So it's actually a really good marketing tactic for them. If they can get somebody committing to coming back to the restaurant 207 times just to try all the different milkshakes, they're going to have a pretty decent lifespan. They're not going to close down anytime soon. But I wanted to compare it against one of my favorite milkshake places, which is actually Five Guys, which we have here in Ottawa. Here's the Five Guys menu. Now, Five Guys, they offer milkshakes with bacon, bananas, cherries, chocolate, coffee, strawberries, salted caramel, peanut butter, Oreo cookie pieces, and malted milk. And that doesn't seem like nearly as many ingredients, but if you do the math, hold on. Yeah, see, if you do the math, with those many ingredients, you're talking almost 40 million different combinations. Because at Five Guys, you're allowed to have as many of those different flavors mixed into your milkshake as you want. So with all the permutations and combinations, it's like 39,916,800 different milkshake options that they offer. So I think Five Guys should be getting in touch with the Guinness people and saying, hey, look, 207 varieties, that's impressive, but we've got almost 40 million that you can order. I don't know. Anyway, what would your favorite flavor be? What would you want to try from either the place in South Africa or from Five Guys? From Five Guys, I recommend you do the chocolate, peanut butter, and banana. That's a really good combination. And then just for kicks, you throw in bacon. Because the bacon, man, if you haven't tried the Five Guys milkshake with bacon, what they do, it's not bacon flavoring. They actually cook up some bacon on the grill, some real bacon, and then they chop it up, and you end up with all these salty bits of bacon buried in your milkshake, and it's amazing. So just take whatever flavor combination you think sounds good, and then add bacon, and it gets so much better. So that's what I recommend, the chocolate peanut butter banana bacon at Five Guys. Try that out sometime when it's good to go back out to the restaurants. All right, let's move on to story number 2. Story number 2 is about the Shaft Bottom Boys. This is a 4-piece band from Sudbury, Ontario. They play kind of a... I haven't listened to very much of their music, or even very much of one of their songs, but it sounds like it's probably sort of a hybrid between Irish music and kind of Bare Naked Ladies. They're a Canadian band. They've probably been influenced by both of those things, and they're called the Shaft Bottom Boys. And it's a bit of a gimmick band, it looks like, because every shot that I've seen of them performing, they're dressed as miners. Like, they've got orange jumpsuits on, they've got the hard hat with the light on it, and they just dress that way when they're performing as the Shaft Bottom Boys band, which is kind of fun. But they just set, let's bring up the story here. This is again from our record-breaking category of good news. They just set the Guinness World Record for the deepest concert ever. Let's scroll down here, you can see a picture. There they are, there's the Shaft Bottom Boys in their full miner regalia. They just set the record for the deepest concert at 6,213 feet inside of a mine. They performed a concert almost 2 kilometers deep. It's pretty crazy. And they even had a decent crowd of miners cheering them on. You might be able to see it here if we press play. There they are. There we go, there's their crowd. So it's a bit of a captive audience. I suppose maybe they, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but the audience certainly stuck around. The record was previously held by a heavy metal band called Agonizer in Finland. Heavy metal band called Agonizer. They performed a concert at 4,169 feet and 11 inches deep in a mine. I think that's funny that they actually bothered to measure right down to the inches, like 4169 and 11 inches. Just say 4170. I mean, come on. Anyway, I'm not sure that this is safe. I don't know that this is a recommended thing. Playing a music concert with amplifiers and everything with like 2 kilometers worth of ground on top of you. But I suppose that's why it's a Guinness World Record, because it's maybe they consider it in their danger category, that you know, to play amplified music, especially if you're Agonizer playing heavy metal, what sort of fault lines are you going to disrupt with that sort of thing? Or did they just keep the amps turned way down? I don't know. But anyway, good on you. The Shaft Bottom Boys from Sudbury, Ontario, setting the new Guinness World Record for the deepest concert ever. And our final story for today comes from the weird news category. Or, sorry, the weird animal news category. I learned something that I thought was kind of interesting. Elephants are afraid of bees. Did you know that? Like, they're not just afraid of bees, they are terrified of bees. And it's not totally clear why. The skin of an elephant is far too thick for a bee to be able to sting them and have the elephant actually notice. So a bee sting doesn't bother an elephant, so why are elephants so deathly afraid of bees? I don't know. We have to study that, research that a little bit more. But here's what's interesting. Over in India, they've been using this knowledge that elephants are afraid of bees to their advantage. In Kerala, which is one of the southern states in India, when they set up these fences that are designed to keep elephants out. And when an elephant comes up and touches one of those fences, they dump a box of bees onto the elephant. I don't know where you get a box of bees. I don't know how the system actually works. I don't know if it's automated or if there's a guy that runs over to the fence and has a box of bees and dumps it on the... I don't know. It's entertaining to think about, though. But yeah, when in Kerala, they have these elephant fences that when an elephant touches the fence, they dump a box of bees on it, and that scares off the elephant. And elephants are very smart. They figure out, oh, when I touch the fence, bees, and I don't like bees. So it can be pretty effective at keeping the elephants away. They recognize the fence and they say, nope, don't want those bees. Now, more recently, they've started applying this knowledge to train tracks. Bring that up here. Now, in this case, what they're doing is they're not running up and down train tracks with boxes of bees and dumping them on elephants. But they have this real problem where, for instance, in a 5-year period recently, there were 30 elephants struck by trains as they crossed the tracks in this particular area. And that's a lot of elephants. That's a lot of damage to your trains. That's potential damage to what's being hauled by the train, potential injuries for humans riding the train. And we just don't want to lose that many elephants either. So they a couple years ago, they started this pilot project in one of the national parks. There's a railway that goes through the national park. And you can see here, a honeybee sound system. So instead of running around with boxes of bees and dumping them on elephants, what they do is at these crossings where the elephants tend to like to go across the rails, they've set up these sound systems. And for a few minutes before the train arrives, like you know how if you're at a train crossing here in Canada and a train is approaching, you hear the ding, 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 ding. Well, instead of doing that, they play, on the sound system, they play the sound of buzzing honeybees. And they play it loud enough that elephants can hear it from like 2,000 feet away. So they started that 2 years ago. As the trains are approaching a few minutes before, they play the buzzing. The elephants hear it, and they move away from the tracks. They don't want to mess with the bees. And so they started that 2 years ago, going through this national park. And since they started it, there have been no elephants get hit by trains. That's pretty crazy. And you know what they call it? They call it Plan B. I very much appreciated that. And that's where we're going to leave it off today. Thanks very much for being here. Until next time, we are hoping that all your news is good news, and we'll hope to see you again. Take care.